game performance and library. Of course, what's the end goal of all this extra horsepower if not a better gaming experience? Thankfully here we're happy to report that the Xbox One X performs exactly as advertised. Games look great across the board. Whether you're using a 1080p TV with the Xbox One X or playing in 4K HDR, games look fantastic on the next-gen console. If you're a 1080p TV owner, the Xbox One X will do something called super sampling to create better-looking images. Super sampling is a complex term, but the basic idea is that the game renders itself in 4K thinking it's connected to a 4K screen, which means objects are rendered with 4 times the detail. All this data can't be displayed because, at the end it's still being shown on a 1080p TV with a set number of pixels on its display, but the resulting image is one that is more detail-rich. In practice that means images are going to look a bit sharper. Trees, branches and foliage in general won't look so jagged. For example, and basic fog on an Xbox One might become thicker and more realistic while using an Xbox One X. Once you see a game running in 1080p with super sampling, it's very obvious that it looks better than a game running in standard 1080p. But if you're not the kind of person who takes a minute to smell the roses in games, the kind who can appreciate a fine edge on a shrub or a rich, dense fog in the morning, then Xbox One X isn't going to impress you. On a 4K HDR TV, the Xbox One X unleashes its full power. Games render at up to native 4K, offering 4 times the detail of regular 1080p. Better still, some of those games will have a wider array of color options thanks to a technology called High Dynamic Range or HDR. Skies look bluer, grass looks greener and colors drip from every scene. The results speak for themselves. But visual upgrades aren't the only type of upgrades the Xbox One X offers. The other is performance, that is the frames per second at which a game runs. We'll save you another long-winded explanation on the subject, but the basic idea here is that when scenes become really detail-rich and filled with a vast number of objects, the console becomes overwhelmed. Instead of being able to output, say, 60 frames per second, it drops down to 55 or even less. It was a big problem on the original Xbox One, but one that the Xbox One S seemed to do away with under all but the most extreme circumstances.